The writing, I think, at the end of the day, really amazingly written script, and John, I've said this before, but John put a lot of heart and soul into it, and it was a really important project for him. And anytime you get to work on something with somebody who's that passionate about it, it makes you just that more passionate about it. At least that's my feeling on it, you know?
The writing is amazing. All the different layers that this character had. It really, you know, showed a lot of passion.
I love the script. I love the character. I would say I feel like it's hard sometimes to come across characters that do the things that this girl does and say some of the things that she says.
I heard when I was reading it that it was only going to be a 3-week shoot, and, you know, there wasn't much money, and I had a lot of interest for that because I knew that everyone who was doing it was going to be very passionate about it, and we were all going to be on board, and it was just a really organic, great experience.
You know, you look at this and you see, you know, if you're just looking at the script, you see like a lot of like kind of like actor scenes. Like everybody wants to play, you know what I mean? You get to do like your brother's death scene. You get to do like the scene where you punch out the bad guy. You get to do the scene where you run naked through a cemetery. You get to do the scene where you're crying, like all that stuff.
Well, we met at the auditions, and I met him at his callback. I didn't have one of the scenes that we were supposed to be reading, so I got it like 2 seconds before he walked in the door, and I was reading through it as fast as I could, and he got in there, and it was the scene, I think, where we first kissed. And so I was like, oh my god, and there's this guy walking in the door. I haven't even read the scene, and he's like all prepared, he's ready, and I was like gonna kiss this guy, and it's gonna be so weird. And so it was awkward, our first meeting.
You know, the thing about the character I played is I don't think he understood much. I think he was acting purely on id and on ego, you know, just really going for it and just trying to find something that he didn't even know what was going to make him happy, but he just wanted to get out of Brooklyn. He wanted to get out of where he was. It's funny because a couple of my friends saw the preview and they were like, you got to play the good role, man. You got to play the bad guy, you know. And it's always, actors always love the bad guys.
I think that the cemetery scene was what I was most worried about, oddly enough. I think we just kind of got there, and I had planned to bring, I wanted to bring some whiskey with me. I was like, this is going to be freezing cold. It was raining that day. We shot it at like, I think like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Well, first of all, it was very cold that morning, which naturally, as a man, you would rather it not be.
Grass was really wet, and we were barefoot, and we all got kind of sick afterwards, and I remember having to do the striptease a couple times. Shot that in pieces.
I mean, dude, like, how often do you get to run through a cemetery naked? You know what I mean? It's crazy. So, it was cool, man. You know, we cleared most of the set. Most of the crew was gone. We had sort of skeleton crew, just obviously for respecting us as the actors.
I just remember being like, this could either be the coolest thing I've ever done, or it could be the most humiliating thing I'll ever do. She
was saying earlier that it gets easier every time you watch it. I thought so too. Then I watched it with my grandma.
We had a great stunt coordinator, this big burly guy named Pat, and we did as much rehearsing for that. More than anything, pretty much. We really wanted to get it down.
There's a scene where I get slapped by Danny, and I don't know why, but that scene ended up being like, we really got into it. We were just like, no, fuck it. And I was like, Geoff, just fucking hit me, you know, just do it.
When I'd go home and I was done with work, I'd walk with my chest, you know, much further out, like, what? Anybody come up to me, I'm good, let's go. You know, and I never had that before, so it was a good boost of confidence.
You never know, and you might just need to get naked and run through a cemetery.